Call of Duty is a franchise built on legacy. Legacy characters, legacy maps, and of course, legacy guns. But what about the guns that never had a chance to get a legacy? What about the guns that showed up one time and then disappeared into the wind? The one and done guns. What is up, everybody? Chaos here. Today we're going to be looking at those COD guns that not only disappeared, but they only got one chance to prove themselves, and I feel like some of them did. They just didn't get a second chance. Let me know how many of these you actually remember. Guys, if you are into giveaways, you need to be following Chaos on Twitter and Chaos Comics on Twitter. Both of those accounts. We are going to be giving away so much all the way leading up to the holiday season. It's already started. Modern Warfare 2, cool comics, toys, all kinds of stuff, collectibles. Both links are at the top of the description. Let me know if you do. Now, we kick things off with the L115 in Ghost. Bolt action sniper, one of the best in its class. People often argued over whether or not it was actually better than the USR. I'll let you guys argue in the comments. It was virtually always a one-shot kill, had extremely high base damage, and very generous body multipliers for the fire rate. It wasn't bad for a bolt action. You could shoot up to 40 rounds per minute, which was, I know, on the slower side, but the damage, it was consistent. It really didn't bother most people. Every Ghost sniper either preferred the USR or the L115, and if you were somebody who liked to sit back and take more shots from further away, you probably leaned towards this one. Now, I know the USR may have been faster, better suited for aggressive players, but the L115, much more consistent, and for a lot of players, that was the most important trait that a sniper could have. At number 9, the USR in Ghost. I know, let's throw it in there. After all, it's never came back. It debuted in COD Ghost, but this one is more puzzling because it was a fan favorite. I mean, we've gotten remakes of Ghost guns, the Honey Badger, the ARX-160. Why not the USR? Bolt action sniper had a very high base damage, but the body multipliers weren't as friendly, meaning you had to get a bit more consistent with your upper body shots if you wanted to actually take full advantage of the potential. The higher fire rate, it did allow you to get follow-up shots much faster than the L115, and the clips people got with this on Strike Zone, they were nutty. Ghost may not have been a fan favorite game, but USR montages were hyped up, no matter who you were. This next one I hold dear to my heart. The Enfield in Black Ops 1, I've said many times on this channel, I loved it. I'm surprised it didn't return in Black Ops Cold War. I mean, Cold War remade weapons like the Kaparis and the China Lake. They could have at least given us one of the most underrated weapons in the original game. Second assault rifle you unlock. Despite rather goofy looks, not particularly hitting very hard, it was actually deceptively a really good gun. Consistent damage. Yeah, it fired at 750 rounds per minute, but it hit for between 25 and 35 damage, which made it a 3 to 4 shot kill no matter what. The consistency made it one of the best guns in the game for leveling up early. I know, I wasn't the only one that kept using it later on in the progression system. You just didn't want to see it. You didn't want anybody to see you using it. It slapped. But as of this video's recording, it's exclusive to Black Ops, the original Black Ops. At number 7. The FMG9 in Modern Warfare 3, one of the coolest guns we've ever got our hands on. It was. Quickly became one of the most hated guns we've ever got our hands on. Folded out from the compact briefcase looking shape, then feature one of the fastest fire rates in COD history in single mode. It's kind of crappy. Akimbo mode, you already know the story. It was patched once or twice, but you already know how crazy it is. It's never returned in a Call of Duty game, likely due to negative reception. The closest thing we've gotten to the FMG9s is that specialist ability in Infinite Warfare, but I think it'd be cool if they come back in Modern Warfare 2. A bit more balanced, but I want to see them. At number 6, the USAS-12 in Modern Warfare 3. Your starting shotty. It was a monster. Unlocked pretty much right away. It was a fully automatic shotgun. Actually had one shot kill potential up close and a decent fire rate. Now, you only had 6 shells in the magazine by default, but you could crank that up to 9 with extended, and with the damage proficiency, you could greatly increase your chances of a one-shot kill. Also had really good movement speed. It allowed you to move at 100% speed, just as fast as the handguns. I mean, it had a handful of drawbacks. Slow reload animation, pretty poor range, but it was a fun gun. And for a starting shotgun, it was honestly way better than it had any right to be. The starting weapons in Modern Warfare 3 weren't that great, but the USAS-12, it was the exception to the rule. Now we crack into the top 5. Let's stick with the shotguns. The W1200 in COD 4, the pump action shotgun that was super fun to use, but you never saw it online. And I think that was attributed to the map design. It was really powerful. One of the worst guns in COD 4 though, because of how much the game's maps discourage close range combat. Yes, you could instantly kill somebody from a stupid distance, but the low fire rate, it didn't leave any room for air. And since there was no unlimited sprint in COD 4, it was almost impossible to use a shotgun optimally. It briefly appeared in Modern Warfare 2's campaign, But as for the main line of multiplayer games, we've never seen it again. Perhaps this year, Modern Warfare 2 will change that, but as of October 3rd, it is a one-and-done, one-game shotgun. The PP2000 in Modern Warfare 2. Raise your hand if you use this thing more than any other pistol. There was something about it. It felt buttery smooth. And even though it wasn't the best machine pistol, it was addicting. It fired at an even 800 rounds per minute, could kill in 3 to 5 shots with no stopping power, but if you were using the good old SP perk, it might have been overpowered. It didn't kick very much. You could laser people from mid-range. I think it was largely overshadowed by some of the other weapons at your disposal. The M93 Raffica, the Spaz 12. It wasn't a top-tier secondary, but it did have a fan club and a following. I was part of it. Something about the PP just felt super reliable, and it was hard to put down after you started using it. Now, unfortunately, it was never seen in another COD game after the original Modern Warfare 2. It was originally supposed to appear in Modern Warfare 3, but sadly it was cut from development, or during development, actually. At number 3, this one disappointed me. The AMR-9 in Advanced Warfare. There's a pretty good reason for this gun never coming back. It sucked, and everybody hated it. Burst Fire SMG. 5 bullets per burst. It sounded awesome, but the damage was so low you needed the majority of those bullets to connect, and since this was AW where everybody was bunny hopping, it was seemingly impossible to get a 1-burst kill with it. You can't consistently get a 1-burst kill with a burst weapon. What is the point of running it in your loadout? It was a cool idea for a weapon. It's never been done in Call of Duty, but the execution was lacking. It led to it being one of the least used guns in the entire game, and I bet most Sledgehammer employees even forgot it existed. If that's happened, guess what? It's not coming back. At number 2, the PM9 in Modern Warfare 3. The one-handed SMG did have a bit of a fan club. Most of the community agreed it was one of the worst in the game, but it had potential. In all fairness, it had to go toe-to-toe with the MP7 and the PP90. It was never going to get a favorable comparison, but it had great potential as a rushing weapon. If you kitted it for speed and hip-fire accuracy, you would be treated to one of the most satisfying weapons in the game, and certainly one of the most underrated. It fired at 1,100 rounds per minute, people, could kill in as little as 4 bullets. The recoil, yes, it was tough to manage. You weren't going to be challenging people at mid to long range, but if you wanted a gun for running around hip-firing everybody in sight, this one was actually an option. And at number 1 today, the MP9 in Modern Warfare 3. Did you see what I did there? The PM9, MP9, my genius intellect aside, this was completely overpowered. It was. Many people ran it as their primary. It fired at 900 rounds per minute, carried a 32-round mag by default, could kill in 2 bullets, 3 headshots at max range. I have no idea how anybody thought it was a good idea for a secondary weapon because it literally outclassed half of the SMGs and ARs with the stats alone. But it could be ran by everybody at all times. Is by far one of the most overpowered secondaries in COD history, and that's probably the reason it never returned after its first appearance. The ridiculous reputation of the MP9 probably made COD developers feel like they shouldn't poke the beast a second time because there really wasn't any good way to balance a sidearm like this. It was nutty. I think it's definitely deserving of the best one-and-done COD gun of all time. Let me know one gun that didn't make the list that should have. Make sure you guys go and follow Chaos and Chaos Comics on Twitter, and I'll see you soon.